Hi, welcome to Greg's Garage. What I'm going to show you today is how to change the fork fluid in a front fork of a 1998 Honda A Shadow. This specifically is the VTX 750 CD2 version. There is also a DC model, which is kind of confusing, but a lot of bikes operate the same way. I've already removed the front wheel, the fender, took the brakes off, the handlebars off to get to the fork easily. So at this point I'm going to slide the tube out after loosening up the clamp tube here. And what I'm going to do is work on this. The first thing we need to do is remove this bolt. If you have a hard time removing this bolt, put the tube back into the bike and re-clamp this and then undo it. But this one's already been loosened up a little bit. So let's go over here and we'll take a look at actually doing this and what's in here. So the first thing we're going to do is take the top cap off of the fork. And since this video is partially staged, it's already loosened up and this is a lot easier than it actually is. What you got to watch for when you're unscrewing this, it's going to pop up on you when you get to the end of the threads. It's aluminum thread, so you got to be careful at all times, even when you're reassembling it, so you don't cross-thread it. Oh, right there. Pops up on you quick. So now you got to kind of be careful right now because you got a lot of things going on here. So the first thing, set the wrench away. I always lay the parts out in the order that I disassemble them. So on the bench here, I just laid a piece up here. So the first piece to come out is going to be this spacer tube. It's going to be dripping some oil. Then there's also a washer and a spring here, but it's kind of far down in there, so I'm going to start pouring this into a pail. Now, this fluid is going to be really clean because, like I say, this video, I already did this one. So what you want to do is pour the old oil into a bucket of some kind. While it's pouring, you want to watch for the washer plate and spring to come out because they will be coming out. So, pouring the old fluid out, and I can hear the spring sliding out. Oh, right here it is. I got it. I'm just going to stop this for a second. So what we got here now is got a washer plate, and then we also got the spring itself, and it's going to be oily. So you want to set that down. And then you want to finish pouring the rest of the oil out. And then you want to engage and pump this up and down a little bit. Don't get too excited. And then pour this out. And then many times I'll dump some fresh fluid in and engage it a few times and everything, and dump all the old oil out. Now the tricky part is once you get that all set away, what you want to do is you want to take a look. You want to have lots of rags around. You want to take a look at your spring, and you'll want to measure this to make sure it's within tolerance depending on the bike and stuff. Depending on what you use for the bike, a lot of people put in progressive springs, which are really nice. I did that on that bike there, improved the performance a lot. I did measure these springs, they are within spec. So if they're okay, then you can continue at reassembly. You do need to get some oil. I happen to have some Ames oil here that I got from a motorcycle show. But in other bikes I've used Mobil 1 transmission, synthetic fluid actually. Same stuff. So the way that you check the measurement here, what you do is you keep the spring out, the spacer tube out, and you bottom the shock out. And then you pour oil into here with this bottomed out. Now obviously it's kind of a staged video, so I got clean fluid here that I just dumped out. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep pouring this in. At least this is my understanding reading the Honda manual. And what you do is you pour that in until a level, on this particular bike, it's 108 millimeters from the top down. So this fork here, which I already have rebuilt, is at precisely that. And just take your calipers, set it at the right depth, and so on this bike here, like I said, it's 108. So I got that set at just about 108. So you just want to set that down into there. Make sure you're at the right level there, and I am. You can, if you look down there, you can see it touching. The one thing is, after you pour the fluid into the tube, leave it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes because a lot of air will come up to the top. So you want to make sure that all the air is out when you make this measurement. Now that you got that measured, you can put it all back together. Springs aren't directional, although the directions do say to put the tight coils up. So you can slide that into there.
That's Spider-Man.
And then we're going to put this washer in. We gotta make sure that gets on there flat. Okay. Then we're gonna put this tube in. Now this is the tricky part. You gotta compress everything while putting tension on to get this threaded. So what I gotta do is slide the tube all the way up, extend this all the way up, and now I'm gonna put the cap back on. And this is a tricky part. You want to put some relube the O-ring on there. So this part's tricky. There's a number of ways to do this. You can push down, turn this piece, or push down and turn the tube. But aluminum threads here, so these can get cross-threaded easy. This is probably the most important part of the whole process here. So some people just have a feel for this. A couple ways of doing this. Just gonna lean that onto there. I'm just gonna slowly. I'm actually turning this there. I felt it. It's really nice and clean. So then we'll finish tightening that down. And then the fork's rebuilt. You can slide it back into the bike and do the reassembly process. That's all for today.